Alright fellas, this is just a quick video and preview. I managed to install the steering column from the 86 720 onto the D21. I'm about to take it for a test drive. You know, everything's nice and tight and secure. I'll go over everything I did to get this installed probably next weekend. So I was so pressed for time that it's just trying to get it done really quick. There was a little bit of fab work that had to be done, namely welding and mismatching parts from this column and the stock column that's on this truck, or that's originally from this truck. But otherwise, everything worked out pretty good. Let me show you real quick. And if you notice, I really like the way this column sits, because I can actually see the gauges, specifically the speedometer. The way the stock steering wheel used to sit, this portion of the steering wheel would block the view of the speedometer. So now I have a clear view of the entire gauge cluster, which will also be nice when I convert to the newer, rounder dashboard. But that, again, that's something for another later day. But anyway, let me show you guys. Here's the lever. So we push down on it, and it lets us, I mean, it's not that the distance, it's not that great, but at the same time it makes a big, it's for me, it's a noticeable difference, even at the angle that the steering wheel sits now. It's either the same distance as the stock one, or it might be a little bit closer to the dash. It feels like it might be a little bit closer to the dash, but that might be because of the angle, since it's at its highest point. But anyway, I'm gonna set the phone on this little contraption and record a little bit of driving for you guys. So I'll be right back. Alright, hopefully you guys can see from your perspective. Again, the might be a little dark. The difference from the 720 ignition lock cylinder. It's in the on position. Accessories, or at least the gauges. The next one's the accessories, and the third one is the engine. Feels very smooth, very tight, secure. That's actually what I was a little worried about. One of the things I was worried about when installing all this. Making sure that nothing falls off or falls apart. That would suck. especially while you're driving. That would be not good. But yeah, this was a really learning experience, because I'd never done this before. I'd never swapped steering column before from one vehicle to another. So in some ways, in some aspects, it was actually easy. I just had to like think outside the box a little bit. I had to mismatch parts, and there was times where I thought, man, this isn't gonna work. But my nephew, I feel odd calling him my nephew, but my nephew actually welded the bracket from the stock column to this truck that bolts the column to the frame, I guess, to the skeleton. I chopped that part off. I had to chop that part off, and he welded that to this column. That's how I was able to bolt this portion of the column to the skeleton or the frame. But everything else, oh, I also switched the I guess what you would call the firewall shield that's down below. There's actually two parts to it. One's like a firewall shield, and the other, it might be, I'm just guessing, it might be like a heat shield, because the headers are literally right down there by the steering wheel, or by the steering column, under the hood, and it does get pretty hot. But yeah, anyway, so luckily I was able to take the firewall shield from the stock steering column from this truck and swap it onto this one. I thought it was going to be impossible. At first I thought it was like welded on there, and I wouldn't be able to do it, but it was doable. Didn't have to cut anything or anything like that. So thankfully, because of that, I was able to bolt the column down good and secure and proper. There's no wiggle room. There's no air getting into the cab. So, but anyway, yeah, I'll go over everything I did. As soon as I have time, I'll take everything apart, take it out, take the whole steering column out, and go. Hopefully, try to go in detail into everything I did to get this installed. The only frustrating thing, the other frustrating thing, the steering column cover. I still have the stock, I guess, the bracket that holds the switches on either side. I still have the stock one from this truck. So the steering column, it won't mesh correctly with itself. It's difficult to try to align it, but I'll try to figure something out, because in the meantime I'll be driving without the column. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this little quick preview, and I'll see you.